Welcome to your mats. In this practice, and the theme of yesterday being Valentine's Day, we're going to be working on cultivating self-love. Bring your left hand up onto the center of your chest, right around the heart space, and your right hand down at the low belly, below your belly button. Now continue breathing here, but I want you to feel the breath now lifting up into the palm of your hand and down into the lower palm. Exhaling completely. And just using these few moments of breath to take the first step of self-love, which is self-awareness. Quality time is one of my love languages. And I find myself giving my time to those that I care about quite often. But then I can feel depleted at the end of the day, after a week of giving. And so today we're going to give that quality time to ourselves. Using a mantra here just to ground us. As you inhale, just to yourself, I want you to inhale, I am. And as you exhale, here, now. Awareness starts with presence. Inhaling, I am. Filling that amness with here, now. The most important part of this process of yoga is showing up. Sitting in whatever else is going on, it will still be there. That you can take a moment to tune it out, to tune in. Continue perhaps with this mantra, inhaling I am, exhaling here now. Or if in this space you're feeling something else that you may need to nurture, perhaps you change the second part. I am enough, perhaps, on the second. Or I am loved. Taking just a couple more moments to breathe, and I want you to feel your heart expanding open into the palm. And everything else melt away. Shoulders relax. The face relax. Taking one more full breath into the palms. As you exhale, allow the palms to drop away from the body. And then bring them together in front of your heart and start to rub them briskly together. So we rub our palms together, we're creating energy, or we're creating heat. In yoga, we relate this heat to the theme of tapas. So tapas is like the spark of our dedication, of why we choose to show up. And then begin to bring your hands just together and then take them just like a millimeter apart. Feel that where our attention goes, our energy flows. Where our attention goes, our energy flows. So here, we're putting our attention on ourselves, allowing that energy that you just created to come into your body. I want you to bring your fingers together just like this, and then bring both palms to the heart. Our final mudra of this practice, meditation this morning, is unshakable trust. Unshakable trust. That we trust that which brought us here, into our mat, into our practice. And then we're going to come together now as a community. So a little bigger than the self. When we show up here, we also show up for one another. So we're going to use the energy of our voice. And the mantra of Om, or the vibration of creation. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose and a sigh out of your mouth. Take an inhale here, fill up. Om on the way out. Om. Two more just like that. Inhale. Allow the hands to release. Without disturbing your peace, I want you to gently make your way onto the shins into child's pose. You'll come on to the hands and knees first. Let the big toes touch together. Let your knees expand as wide as your mat. So you're like a little wedge. And then forehead bows all the way down onto the earth. Fingertips walk long towards the top of your mat. And then widen your pinky fingers towards the sides of your mat. So walk your hands away from one another. And take a big full inhale here. As you exhale, sink your hips towards your heels. Inhale your breath. And this time as you exhale, roll your shoulders away from your ears. Take just a couple more breaths in and out here. In our child's pose, we come here to get grounded. We can always come back when we need to remind ourselves that this pose is not the purpose. The poses in this practice are not the goal. Our goal is to listen to ourselves and to honor when we struggle. What can we do to shift our body or our mind to come out of the struggle? Take one more inhale breath here, feeling nourished and grounded. Exhaling completely out. With your next inhale, press through the palms and begin to lift into tabletop pose, stacking your shoulders right over your wrists and your knees right underneath your hips. And then begin to inhale, allow the belly button to drop towards the mat as you look forward to the front of the room. Arch back, yeah. And then exhale, just like a Halloween cat, round it out. Tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, back of the heart to the ceiling. And then moving on your own here as you inhale, finding that flexion of the spine. And as you exhale, you round and empty out, really drawing that navel up and in. Close your eyes here and begin to move back and forth with your breath. And in this process of waking up to our own self, I want you not to be afraid to color outside the lines. So really listen to what might feel good here and do that. Maybe that's front to back, side to side. I see some looking around wondering what feels good to me. It's probably not what feels good to your neighbor. It's okay. And this is where that unshakable trust comes in. We can trust what we listen, what we hear from our own awareness, and we can be our own teacher. One more round through each breath here. You'll pause in a neutral spine. All right. Go ahead and tuck your toes under. Let's begin to find downward facing dog as you lift your knees off the mat and then take the hips up and back. So you're creating a little upside down V, or like a mountain with the hips as the tallest point. Spread your fingers, all 10 pressing into the mat. And then walk out your dog, meaning bend one knee and let the opposite heel reach down, and then switch sides, just kind of you're walking in place with the feet. We begin to bring awareness into our legs. And then now press both heels down towards the mat. Soften your knees, bring a micro bend to the knees. And then take an inhale. As you exhale, can you bring weight back into the feet and lift your hips further to the back of the room? Let's take one more big breath in here. As you exhale, press those hips up and back. And then a bend in your knees as you begin to tiptoe your feet to the top of your mat. Tiptoe forward. When you get to the top of your mat, inhale, halfway lift. Walk your feet a little wider than the hips, and exhale, rag doll. So just letting the upper body hang, just like Raggedy Ann. And then the more generously you bend your knees, the more release we're going to get in our spine. So bend the knees a lot here. Let the brain drain. You can keep the fingertips draped towards the earth, or bend the elbows, reach across and grab your elbows or your biceps here. And then allow that to draw a little more weight to lengthen your spine. And then I want everyone to inhale, and as you exhale, flutter the lips. Yeah, do that just a couple more times. Inhaling. Letting the muscles of the face release. After this next exhale, let the fingertips come to the earth. And then we'll slowly begin to rise up to standing. Unravel, let the head be heavy, the last thing to come up. And then start to walk your feet towards one another to wherever they're nice and stable. They can be just under the hips or maybe all the way together. Then open up your palms, feel the shoulders hug back. Lift up through the heart. Feel yourself here. So Tadasana, it means standing at attention. Right? So what are we here paying attention to? Take an inhale and extend the fingertips up towards the sky, reaching high. As you exhale, bow forward, bringing the fingertips all the way to the earth in front of you. On your next inhale, we're going to find a flat back. So hands can come onto the shins or maybe up to the thighs to really get long so you can set a tray on your back. With the exhale, bend your knees again and bow forward. I'm going to do that one more time. As you inhale, find a flat spine, really pressing long to the crown. This time, as you exhale, palms come down to the earth. Take a step back with your left foot. Lower your left knee down to the ground, uncurl your toes. You can bring the hands first up onto the thigh for support. Check out the alignment of your front knee. If the knee's coming in front of your ankle, then walk your foot forward. And then we want to sink your hips really far down. So this is really great. How many of you guys sit a lot at a desk during the week? Yeah. So this is going to be really great for those hip flexors. So keep sinking your hips forward. And now draw your navel up and in, shoulders back, nice big open heart. You can keep your fingertips interlaced here, or extend your fingertips up towards the sky, reaching high. And my rule is, as your fingers come up, your shoulders come down. Yeah. Take another inhale. Maybe you even lift the gaze. Find a little more of almost a back bend here. And as you exhale, bring your palms down towards the earth. Tuck your back toe and lift your knee off the mat. Really activate that left kneecap, lifting it off the earth. Draw the navel in, and then pull your heart forward away from your heel. So you're getting really long. You're going to plant into that left hand and start to either bring the right hand to the thigh or up to the sky as you twist the torso open. So the tendency here is to really kind of go to sleep on that left side, letting that left hip fall. I want you to re-engage that left leg. Inhale, get really long, and then exhale, can you twist away from your leg a little bit more? Taking one more breath, stretching through those right fingertips. As you exhale, bring the right hand down, step the right foot back. We'll find a high plank or a high push-up, and this can be done with the knees dropped, right? We're bringing in self-love. We don't want to bring in self-sabotage or self-suffering. Take another inhale here. As you exhale, lower all the way down onto the belly. Keeping the palms on the earth, elbows hugged in. Inhale, we're going to lift up the heart. Find Cobra Pose. Rest the tops of the feet down. Exhale, lower. Try not to go super high, because this time I want you to inhale, come up again, and lift your hands off the mat. Yeah, so we're really working those back muscles in our core. Feet come down, feet come down. Yeah, one more inhale. Exhale, lower. Beautiful. Tuck your toes under, either through tabletop or a high plank, either high push-up or tabletop. And then downward facing dog is where we'll meet, hips to the sky. Beautiful. Breathe in here. And exhale, breathe out. On your inhale, look to your hands. You're going to take a step with your left foot and bring the left foot between the hands. Lowering the right knee down to the mat. Sinking forward here. So before we even rise, check out that alignment, ankle under knee. And then start to bring your hands up onto that front thigh as you peel the chest up and back. So this will increase the stretch in that right hip flexor. And then engage the belly button towards the spine. So we don't do this because we're trying to like suck in. We're doing this kind of light up the fire of awareness. We can light it up, engage with ourselves, breathe into that. Hands can stay where they are, or for the last few breaths, let's extend them tall, fingers high, shoulders come away from the ears. Big full breath as you maybe look and reach and bend backwards. Exhale, palms all the way down onto the earth. Tuck your right toes now, lift your right knee back off of the mat, and really engage through that right leg. Feel yourself strong and stable. And then begin to unwind. Hand can come to the thigh on the left side or all the way up to the sky. Notice if you're starting to sag into that right hip or that right thigh. Yeah, reawaken it. Wake up your left fingertips reaching to the ceiling. Yeah, reach and breathe. And maybe you look up to that left hand. Take one more breath. As you exhale, left hand down, right foot steps forward, finding a forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, brow forward. On the inhale, we're going to rise all the way up, fingertips reaching to the sky, a really big upward salute. And as you exhale, bring the hands to touch in front of your heart. Inhale, one more time, reaching high. Exhale, swan dive, folding all the way forward. Halfway lift, inhale. This time, both palms to the mat. Step yourself back, high plank. Lowering to the mat with control through this chaturanga. Inhaling through your cobra. And exhaling to downward dog. Take a moment here. So the one thing that is sure to kill our peace, our joy, is to suffer, right? When we suffer. So when we're here on our mat, we're cultivating this space of love, of joy. If we're suffering, it's kind of the antithesis of that. So I invite you to play with this idea that suffering is optional. Take another inhale. As you exhale, everyone drop your knees to the mat. Child's pose. This space is always available. So in moments of suffering, if it's a physical suffering, we're feeling a lot of sensation, or maybe it's a mental suffering, our mind is just beating ourselves up for not being flexible enough or not doing what our neighbor's doing or even what we might have done yesterday. We can surrender and honor whatever needs to be nourished to come out of that suffering. So we can shift our body just like this, come back down to the earth and breathe. Or we can shift our mind. We can decide, I showed up to do this practice to get into a place of, more openness instead of narrowness. So the key of listening and trusting that voice inside. Your next inhale, come up through tabletop, making your way back to downward facing dog, always knowing child's pose is there to catch you, and it's a choice. And when you choose not to alleviate your own suffering, then you're choosing to feed it. Let's take your right heel and lift it up to the sky, finding a three-legged dog. Activate the right foot, flex it so that you can see all 5 toes. Now bend your right knee and begin to open up your hip. I like to call this dog at a fire hydrant. Yeah. And you're going to look underneath your left armpit and see if you can find your toes. They're there somewhere. Just look. That helps to drop that right shoulder down. Take one more inhale. Wake up those right toes, maybe wiggle them a little bit. As you exhale, see if you can draw that right knee all the way up towards your nose. We're going to step it between the hands or maybe wiggle it to get there. This time you're going to spin your back heel down towards the mat at about a 45-degree angle. Hands come onto your hips, and we're going to rise into Warrior One. So in Warrior One, you're bending your right knee over your ankle. You're sealing into the outer edge of your back foot, and then try to square your hips to meet. So you're drawing that right hip back, left hip forward. And then anchoring into the hands, begin to draw that navel and lift your heart. So you can stay here, or maybe the arms become a natural extension of that length in your spine. Fingers high, shoulders drop. Yeah. And then just be here, now. Trusting in your warrior and the strength and stability of your legs, the openness of your breath. Taking one more inhale. With your exhale, hands drop behind your back, and you're going to hold your own hand here. What better way to show self-love? Yeah. Inhale. Let's puff the chest up really tall. Keep trying to square the hips, drawing that right hip back. You're going to guide yourself with your heart as you bow from the hips, hinging to the inside of that right thigh. So the tendency is going to be to want to be lazy, kind of rest it there. Let's come towards the inside of the thigh. So we're feeling that kind of instability. And then lastly, can you release the head? Let the brain drain, yeah. Then reawaken your feet so we feel stable because we're awake and we're engaged. Try to re-square the hips. Maybe the hands come off your low back and you find a little more shoulder stretch if that's available. Yeah. And now rooting through the feet, release the hands and inhale, rise back up to Warrior One, fingertips to the sky. Exhale, bring the palms to the earth around your right foot. Step your right foot to meet your left, and we take chaturanga or nadaranga, meaning you can skip it, coming it straight to downward dog, right? It's all a choice. My only rule is that for this hour that you breathe, because I would kind of get in trouble if you stopped breathing in the middle of the class. So just breathe and be. That's all you got to do here. Left heel to the sky. Wake up the left toes. Flex the foot towards your face for a moment. Now bend your knee and peel that knee open towards the sky. Right heel sinking a little closer to the earth, and you can peek up under the right armpit here and look for your foot. That helps to lower that left shoulder so we're not getting the shoulders out of alignment here. One more inhale, wiggle the toes, wake up the foot. As you exhale, step your left foot in between your hands. Right heel seals to the earth, hands to hips. Beginning to rise up on this side into Warrior One, bending that left knee over the ankle, sealing the outer edge of your right foot towards the back of your mat. And then draw your hips square. So your left hip is moving back and your right hip is moving forward. Draw the navel up and in, and maybe the arms extend, shoulders drop. So another idea of this narrowing and expanding is that we can try really hard. I'm trying so hard to do my warrior. My teacher says, don't try hard, try easy. How can you keep trying, but let there be a little more ease to your efforts? One more inhale to reach. As you exhale, reach back to grab your own hand and pause. And then I want you to switch all of your fingers, like switch your grip so it's super awkward. Yeah, and now puff up the chest, find that big open heart, keep the hips square. And then as you exhale, pulling from the heart, getting nice and long as you come towards the inside of that left knee. Keep anchoring into your back foot for stability. Try to square the hips. Maybe drop the crown towards the inside of the left foot. And lastly, maybe you wrap the hands away from the lower back. So we trust in where we are. We trust the process, not the pose. And knowing that wherever you are is exactly where you need to be. Take one more breath in and out. And then use your next inhale to release the hands and rise up. Fingertips all the way to the sky. Reach them high. And then as you exhale, palms come down to the earth. This time, right foot meets the left at the top of your mat, coming to the forward folds. Inhale and halfway lift. Exhale, bow. Start to lower your hips. Imagine there's a chair behind you. You're lowering your hips, trying to find that chair. And then bring your hands to your heart center. And then begin to peel your chest away like you're trying to find the back of your chair. So now we're all sitting in an invisible chair. Yes, roll the shoulders back. Imagine you're sitting in an actual chair so we can smile a little bit, make your suffering a little worse, or a little better. Sit yourself back a little bit more. Take an inhale, lift the heart. As you exhale, we're going to bring our left elbow across to the right thigh, twisting towards the side. So if that's not working for you right now, then you can bring your right hand to your hip, straighten your left arm, and use anything on the outside of that left arm to give you leverage. Yeah, just like that, just like that. Left arm here, right hand to hip. Or anywhere you are, you can open the arms. You can expand the right arm high. You can expand the left arm down. Only if that expands your experience, not if it causes more suffering. Take one more inhale and reach up and open. As you exhale, take it down into forward fold. Walk your feet a little bit apart. Give yourself a moment of rest here. You might even take your hands. This is one of my favorite kind of self-love techniques. Take your hands into fists. Take them to the outside of your hips. And then just kind of knock at your hips. Yeah. Give yourself a little self-massage. It's okay. You got it. Give yourself a little butt kicking, right? All right. And then go ahead and release your hands back down to the earth. If you've separated your feet wide, bring them a little closer together. Get ready for that chair pose on the other side. So you're going to lower your hips. That chair's there, hands to heart, and then peel the heart up and away. You can stay here for one more breath in, and then as you exhale, begin to twist. Right elbow to left thigh, or maybe you straighten that right arm and bring any space on the outside of the arm to your leg and breathe. Reach up, reach down. Be here now. Be here with yourself. Be a friend, a support, an inspiration, someone that empowers. With each breath, one more here, now, and then exhale, forward fold. This too shall pass. Walk your feet a little bit wider once again. This time, you're going to take your palms, and from the front, you're going to slide your palms underneath your feet. So you might have to bend your knees a lot to get there, but from the front, you're sliding your hands under your feet so your toes come all the way to the crease of your wrist. So it's almost like you're trying to step on your hands. And then release your crown and breathe. So a couple things go on here. We can really play with that idea of trusting ourselves. As you shift forward and you think you might fall, you learn to trust that you'll plug your heels back down. Most importantly, about 200 years ago when this pose was invented, there's like an ancient reason, and that was to make your hands smell like the bottom of your feet. So just make sure you dig them in there really good. Wiggle your toes. It's called gorilla pose. Go ahead and slide your hands out from underneath your feet. And then slowly come back up to standing. You can unravel yourself to get there. All right, take an inhale. Reach all 10 fingertips towards the sky. Stretch them high. And as you exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Find something in front of you to gaze at or gaze through, preferably not moving. And we're going to move from standing on 2 feet to standing on 1 foot. So to come into tree pose, our left foot will be the stability. The right knee is going to open up, and you can start with just the heel at your ankle, or you can start to bring up that foot off the mat to the calf or to the thigh. So balance requires presence. Start just like a tree with the root. Ground into your standing leg. And then reach up through the crown. Maybe your arms naturally want to open up. You find branches really wide. Maybe they stay where they are. And so the key is to balance. The key to yoga is not to nail the pose and then you've done it. It's to keep exploring that edge, to keep finding that wobble point that we all have. Because who we are in that wobble point is really what's going to cause us to take it to the next level, right? Because if we just nail it and we're just like, I'm here, it's cool, I'm in my tree pose, what now? Can you close your eyes? Try that on. Yeah, okay. So we can keep taking it to where we find a wobble point, and we have to come back and get really present to what we need to feel strong and stable. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and lower it down, shake it out. Let's turn around and face towards the back of the space, just to give you a new perspective. Right leg will be your base, left foot comes towards the ankle, towards the calf, towards the inner thigh. And take a moment. The prize is in the process, so listen to yourself, and as you're ready, you can grow or perhaps just stay. Taking another moment to really explore how you can push yourself a little further. Maybe get a little uncomfortable, a little wobbly. And taking one more moment in. And as you exhale, go ahead and release. All right, shake it out. And as you're turning back around, go ahead and step off your mat and introduce yourself to about 3 or 4 new people and let them know you're glad that they're here today. Hi, Cassandra. What was it? Laurel? Nice to meet you, Cassandra. Hi.
I'm Alan.
Cassandra. Very nice to meet you. What was yours?
Jennifer.
Jennifer. Nice to meet you, Jennifer.
What's your name? Shanara.
Hi.
It's good to see you always.
Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, so we're gonna have a little fun. If you guys know me, you know I love to be pretty interactive and do kind of weird things, right? Let's find a partner, whether it's someone you came with, whether it's someone you just met. I just want you to find someone that you can buddy up with for a moment. Just buddy up. It's okay. We got to get out of our comfort zone. We're all here together. You don't realize it when you take the Om together that we're all kind of the same now. So here we go. Y'all got room? Who doesn't have a partner? Do you got one? Because you can be mine if not, because I don't have one. You got it? Okay, cool. Just come to seated on your mat, one mat, back to back with your partner. Just like this. They're going to be a great example. Our little demo right here. Once you've found your seats, I want you to find that same mudra that we found earlier, with one hand at your heart, one hand on your belly. Go ahead and close your eyes. So this idea of self-love, or paying attention to self, often can be construed as being selfish. And selfish can get kind of a bad rap. But in truth, when we begin to arrive more authentically, more openly for ourselves, we're holding space for those around us to do the same. So I want you to really feel the being behind you here. So feel your breath and their breath mingling together in whatever rhythm, whatever pattern you guys have created. And you can notice if you're trying to shrink in, or if you're expanding back and really pushing and leaning into your partner. Because if you lean against them, what they're going to do immediately is lean right back up against you. They're going to give you that support. It always makes me think of that scene in Forrest Gump when it's raining and they're like, let's lean up against each other so we don't get our heads in the mud. So if we lean against each other, we won't get our heads stuck in the mud in our lives. We can hold each other up. Your next inhale, open up your eyes, and I want you to reach your arms out side to side, like you're going to run up to someone and give them a really big hug. Spread your fingers, and then you're just going to bring your just kind of cross your palms so that your palms are together. Yeah, you're going to keep your palms facing the same direction. All right, so this is where we don't think too much, because we're going to want to think too much, because that's what we do. I want you to inhale, get tall, really lean against your partner, and as you exhale, just push your right hand forward and let the rest of your body go. Yeah, try not to resist, just push your right hand forward, push, and breathe. Push your right hand. Push your right hand, yeah. Now, push your left hand and release the right to them. Yeah, push it. So we notice how much we try to do the work, right? We're like, oh no, I don't want to do trust. You know, we give each other non-verbal feedback all the time. Inhale, come back to center and pause. All right. If your arms are on top, see whose arms are on top, then I want you to extend your legs either out into like a little straddle, or you can be like a butterfly. However we're gonna do a forward fold. So however you would want a forward fold. You can come into like a butterfly pose, you can take a straddle, you can take your legs straight forward, wherever you think you can fold most. And then if you've just taken that leg variation, I want you to inhale, sit taller, and as you exhale, begin to fold forward. And if you're not folding, just let your partner take you on the ride. Just lean against them. Just lean against them as they fold. And then just breathe. Let your breath, let yourself get really in tune. So this is our intuition. We get in tune so that we know if we want to give them a little bit more. They're going to pull back right at that edge if it's too much. Without saying anything, we can just get in tune and we can be a support for them. Take a couple more breaths, really lay back, let your head fall back if you're leaning back here. Let yourself really be supported. And if you're doing the support, if you're in that forward fold, then you're going to lift your partner up. So if you're leaning back, stay leaning, and then if you're folded forward, lift your partner up and pause. And then switch your arms, so the opposite hand's on top. And then you can take your legs again. If you're going to fold forward, inhale, get tall, exhale. Now you're going on your adventure back as your partner leans forward. So partner leans forward, you receive. So it's all about giving and receiving. Right? And we're always in this process of giving and receiving. Life is always in transition. Feel what it's like to really be here for someone, and feel what it's like to let someone be here for you. On your next inhale, slowly begin to rise back up. Pause. All right, this is the part. No words. Unverbal communication. I want you to hook elbows with your partner. I want you to bring the soles of your feet to the earth, your knees to the sky. And I want you to come to standing without talking. You can do it. So this is it, guys. This is it. Look, you got to give what you need. So you don't be afraid to push. They got to push back. Push back, push back. So all you got to do is push back, push back, push back. You got it. Push back, push back. You got it. Push back, push back. You guys got it. Just keep pushing. You got it. It's trust. It's trust. Give more. Push, push, push. Push against her. Push against her. You got it. You got it. Push, push, push. Push back. Push back. And it's a valiant effort, even if you didn't. It's all about having fun. Give your partner either a hug or a high five or a handshake or however you feel like acknowledging them. And then go ahead and make your way back. Go ahead and make your way back onto your own mat. And let's calm it down. Let's come down onto your own mat. Let's come all the way laying on your back for a moment and finding yourself this time completely supported by the earth, by the strongest support we have. We're not going to sleep quite yet. It's not nap time quite yet. All right. And then inhale, reach up your arms over your head, finding a full body stretch here. And then as you exhale, draw your knees and hug them into the chest. Knees to chest, hug them in. Nice. And then take your knees wide towards your armpits and take the soles of your feet up towards the sky. So we're finding happy baby. You can grab the inner thighs or the feet if they're available here. As you grab onto the feet, you're trying to bring the ankles over the knees. Keep your head down, tailbone down. Go from side to side, rock it out. I like to think of, this process of yoga. My teacher also says that we are not human beings doing yoga. We are humans being yoga. And for me, what better way of being than being a happy baby, right? We're so joyful. The real Sanskrit word for this pose translates to wind-releasing pose. So that's why the baby's happy. Just so you know. You can figure that out yourself. All right, go ahead and let go of your left foot and let the leg extend all the way down onto the mat. Keep your right foot where it's at for just a moment, kind of a reclining lunge. Take a few nourishing breaths into this stretch here. Keep your head down on the mat. Let's give ourselves a break here. And then you're going to take that right knee and hug it to the center of your chest. Just both arms around it. Hug the right knee to the center of your chest. And now you're going to keep your left hand on your knee. Extend your right arm towards the right side. And if you're super close to your neighbor, you can bend your elbow. And then you're going to take that right knee and start to guide your knee over your body as you roll onto the left hip and find a twist here. So you're trying to keep that right shoulder ankle anchored as you take your knee all the way across the body. So all the way across. Yeah, big stretch. Now you can reach your hand out. Or if you bend it, keep it on the ground. Now, I want you to surrender and let gravity do the work here, meaning you breathe big, and then as you exhale, you just kind of let yourself fall. Yeah. So this is the ultimate try easy space. With your next inhale, begin to come towards center, and you'll refine that happy baby pose, bringing both knees towards your armpits. Taking just a moment here. And then release your right foot now. Keep your left foot in the half happy baby. Take just a couple breaths into this reclining lunge. And now you'll hug your knee to your chest and find your twist. So you're taking the knee over to the right side. Left arm extends long or bent to the left side. You're rolling onto that right hip. Once you get there, then release your effort. Just breathe and let gravity deepen you here. Yeah, close your eyes. A couple more breaths here. On your next inhale, begin to come back into center. This time, just hug both knees into your chest. Hug them both in. Bring your nose up towards your knees. Give yourself a really big squeeze here. Taking one more moment. And then as you exhale, release your legs out long. Take your hands to either side, palms facing up, or you can bring them onto the body if you need a little more grounding. So tuning back in. Really listening, and if there's a way for you to get like 5 or 10% more comfortable, then move yourself around, settle yourself in so that you're free from physical distractions here. So it can be easy to kind of tune out here. I like to say that this is one of the most challenging yoga poses, because it's so easy to just check out, go on a little nap. But in reality, this is what we've been preparing ourselves for this whole hour. To clear the debris, to get super focused on the space within our own skin. So just watch the pattern of your breath. If you liked using a mantra, perhaps coming back to that inhaling, I am, exhaling, here now. Perhaps a different mantra to plant a seed that you may need to nourish. I am enough. I am at peace. To deepen your breath as you begin to bring your awareness back into the space in your skin. Bringing a little bit of movement into the fingers and toes. Stretching long and fingers to the back of the room, toes to the front, stretch it out, and as you exhale, draw the knees into your chest. And then rolling over to your favorite side, finding the fetal position, taking just a moment here. I call this the OG yoga pose, a place that reminds us that yoga is a state of being that we've always been, somewhere deep within, and that this practice is just coming back. Class. Keep your eyes closed. So for those who may not be familiar with mantra, the term mantra just means man is mind, and tra means protection. So it's a way that we can protect our minds by filling it with good vibrations, basically, right? We all chant mantra all the time. It's just sometimes our mantras are a little more self-defeating. So the mantra we're going to use today, I just sang, is Wahe Guru. The word wahe, it's just like woohoo, it's a celebratory term. And the word guru translates to that which takes us from darkness into light. And we're celebrating our own guru, the guru that lives within each and every one of us, that light, that spark that brought you here, and that space that we can trust to move us forward. So I invite you to either bring your hands into that unshakable trust mudra or palms to heart center or anywhere else that feels open and inviting for you. And I'll sing it and invite you to come back at me, or you can chant it internally. It will give you the same benefits. So wahe guru. Wahe, wahe, wahe guru. Just doing that part once again. Inhale. Wahe, wahe, wahe guru. Just listen. Wahe, wahe, wahe guru. Inhale. Wahe, wahe, wahe guru. Inhale and exhale to Om. The palms to touch. Bring your thumbs to the center of your forehead, the space acknowledging our wisdom, our intuition, and this guiding light that shines within each and every one of us. From the light and the guru in me, I honor the light and guru in each of you. Namaste. Amazing. Thank you guys so much. Give yourself a round of applause for showing up.